With the snow finally gone and springtime underway, everyone's looking to make their way outside again. But the seasonal change can be a bit of a challenge to navigate for pet owners. Readjusting to the outdoors and prepping for the spring and summer season means planning for everything. Here to tell us more about what pet owners can prepare for is the owner of Good Choices Dog Training and Services, Elaine Chan-Whitlow. Elaine, thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Glad to have you on, and like I said, love talking about topics like this because it means that spring is here, it means the warmer weather's here, and we're getting everybody outside again. So how should pets and pet owners properly prepare for the changing season, especially having just gone through winter?
Well, first of all, the change of temperature, the dog can definitely sense a change of season. So a lot of dogs are going to become more active, number one. So they will be craving more walks, getting outside more, and more activity. And number one thing is that make sure that you watch for their hydration. Start them on parasite control, things like that. And one of the things is that because they want to go outside more, if you have a dog outside, make sure that they're not trying to escape their house, trying to run away. If you have an intact dog, make sure you safely secure them, because I know a lot of times spring also means a lot of dog wants to run away from the property, trying to go mate, things like that. So make sure that you either have them spay or neuter, or make sure that you safely secure them. And then for grooming, that's also really important, because a lot of dogs are going to be shedding their winter coat because now the spring season is coming. So make sure you work with a professional groomer. If not, make sure that you're regularly brushing them, bathing them, and monitor any signs of allergies on their skin and things like that. And when the weather is rainy or muddy, try to think about engaging your dog in indoor activities, because they will need a lot of engagement to do. So even if it's rainy, don't be discouraged about giving them activity to do, because they will need them for to stay active.
All very important information for people to remember throughout this spring season. And you were talking about the skin and maybe the moisture impact that pets' paws can have, especially with the melting snow. How does melting snow and increased moisture impact pets' paws and skin, and what precautions should owners take regarding things like that?
Well, the paws are a big part of their, of the dog's body, and with the snow and mud being melting, the main thing is the paws are going to be dirty. So you want to make sure that when they come back from outside, give them a really good wipe down, making sure you wipe their paws down. One of the favorite things that I want to do is actually soak their paws to clean up all the snow and mud and things like that. So one of the easy things you can do is dilute iodine solution, green tea, apple cider vinegar, Epsom salt. Those are the four really easy to find, inexpensive ingredient that you can look up the dilution ratio, and then make sure that you give them a good soaking. The other thing you can also do is to have like chlorhexidine wipes on hand, because that can also prevent any kind of clean allergies and things like that. And make sure that the paw pads are shaved. Make sure the nails are always trimmed properly. Those are also important things. And for the skin, with the pollens and all the irritant that spring and summer can bring to us, sometimes a simple wipe down with a wet towel after they come back from the outside is going to help them, not have the irritant stay on the top of the skin, and it can help prevent some of these allergies, reactions, and things like that.
Wow, a lot of precautions for these pets, but really, really great information for a lot of owners to be made aware of. Now, especially having just finished up the winter season, a lot of people were inside, staying warm, maybe not going outside and exercising as much as they maybe should, maybe being a little lethargic around the house. How can pet owners safely reintroduce outdoor exercise after a more sedentary winter season?
Well, the number one thing that I would say, start out slow. And you really need to know your own dog's their own physical condition, and if there's any health problems or potentially concern. Because I would assume, the dog owner would know best of their own dog's, physical condition. So one thing you can try is doing some easy warm-up exercises, such as stretching. And warm-up exercises could be just simply things like laying down, back to a sit, having them reach their paw. That can help stretch the upper body. Do some of those things before you go for a very long walk. And for starting out slow, just go outside, find a grass pet area, and then do like 15, 20 minutes to start out. and slowly build their stamina up. So the first thing would not be like, oh, the first warm day, go for like an hour high, doing inclines and all that. No, don't do all that stuff at first. Start really, really slow and then slowly build it up. And trying to avoid not doing too much exercise for young puppies and senior dog. For young puppies, their paw pads are really sensitive, so that the cements are kind of getting warmer because of the sun. Just watch out for, they can't do too much activities. Find something that's shaded, and don't drag them on the leash and, make them run for, too much of a time, because that can also strain their health as well.
I like that. Start off nice and slow, ease the pets back into this routine, and it helps that there's so many great resources all throughout Greater West Bloomfield for these pets to walk along. We got trails, we got parks, we got everything. And as more people are heading outdoors with their pets, Elaine, what safety tips should they keep in mind, especially for public spaces like parks and trails?
I always advocate people to be mindful, always be respectful, and always stay alert. Staying alert would be sometimes just get in the environment. Like if you go on a trail, there might be wildlife. Don't be occupied on your cell phone or have your headphones on. Really stay alert, watching for your dog as well as watching for other people's and what is in the environment. Have social etiquette. So like if you see other dog on the trail, try not to walk up to someone without asking or acknowledging. Staying away from other people's spaces. And be respectful to, like, if the other activities go on in the park or trail, don't walk your dog right up into someone else's space and things like that. Always obey and respect your leash law and your leash coordinate in the area. Have your dog properly leashed. If you do want to give your dog a little bit more freedom, let's say you do want them to roam a little bit, still have them on the long line. Please do not chance letting any dog off the leash in area that is not designed for that. If you wish to have a dog off leash, have running and whatnot, only select proper designated area that is allowed to do those things. And I always advocate have your dogs trained, properly trained so that they can enjoy outdoor more. Some dogs may have issue with socialization or reactivity, whatever. But there are a lot of professionals out there that can help you with these things. Just be really mindful and if a dog is not trained on proper command, they're not allowed to, listen to you outside. They're not going to be able to enjoy, outdoor or going on walks and trails as much. So consult a professional and get the dogs trained so they can enjoy the outdoor more.
I love that. Pay attention to your surroundings. Make sure that your pets are ready for this kind of activity and make sure that they're ready for everything to come with the spring and summer season. Elaine Chan-Whitlow is joining us on the Splash Live right now, the owner of Good Choices Dog Training and Services, giving us some tips and some insights as pets and their owners make their way outside again for a beautiful spring and summer season. Now, Elaine, I do have to ask, are there any upcoming pet-related events or community programs local residents should know about, maybe to help get their pets a little bit of exercise?
I will be starting my adventure group classes in April and May, and we already have 4 different sessions planned in the West Bloomfield area. So starting on April 11, we have a free walk at the West Bloomfield Wood Nature Preserve Trail, so people can join, and then we can have Q&A during the walks and things like that. As far as other activity, I will have fitness and social hour classes in a couple new businesses opening up in Wixom. There's an indoor dog park there that we can, actually conduct classes in a safe and air-controlled environment, things like that. For shows and things like that, in May, we have a Mutt in Motion show that is going to be happening in Milford. A little bit far from, West Bloomfield, but it's going to be benefiting a rescue group, so that will be nice for people to come out May 9, which is the Mother's Day weekend. And I will have dog painting party in the area in Livonia. I got Easter photo coming this weekend. So there's lots of great stuff coming up. And besides myself, there's lots of local professionals that are doing lots of activities, dropping classes, things like that. So people can just check on social media or be, looking out for supporting your local rescue if there's any events and things like that.
Perfect. So many resources available for these pets and their owners. They're going to have a lot of fun throughout the spring and summer season. Elaine, last question before we wrap things up. What makes the Greater West Bloomfield area a fantastic place for pet owners compared to other communities?
I think one thing I really do love is that I really love all the West Bloomfield parks. They're beautiful. They're always really well maintained. There's always proper map showing the trails, where to go. There are other places that I've gone to that I lead my walk, so to speak, And I get lost when I get into the park because I have no way to find my way out because there was no map. And I really love how beautiful all the West Bloomfield parks are and how friendly the neighborhood is. And I also really enjoy working with some of the West Bloomfield local businesses, such as Premier Pet Supply Store and things like that nature. They're always really supportive of one of my events, sponsoring and helping out and things like that. So I really do enjoy working with the West Bloomfield community.
That's great. And we enjoy having you bring your pets and bring your events for everyone in the community to West Bloomfield every single year. I'm sure the residents are going to have a blast. Elaine, thank you so much for joining us today here on The Splash Live.
Yep. Thank you for having me again. Absolutely.